If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
The question, do you think college will help me to be less shy? Answer by Kevin Polly. I am profoundly introverted. If you hold to Meyers Briggs, I am an INTJ. If you follow law, hey, I'm a melancholic choleric. So it's rather odd that I would find myself in ministry, constantly counseling others and speaking in front of crowds on a regular basis. My point is that shyness, though based on the psychological wiring that forms our personalities, is largely a learned behavior. Therefore, anything learned can be unlearned. Mr. Taha is correct in saying that the fact that it's college is irrelevant. The form of the opportunity to socialize is largely irrelevant. It's just the fact that there are lots of people present, and thus it's a target-rich environment when it comes to building up your social skills. So Mr. Taha is also giving you some excellent advice, and I recommend you heed it. I would only add the following from my own personal experience. Just act confident. Fake it till you make it. Learned behavior is largely learned by rote. If you act confidently for a while, you will soon find that it's no longer an act. I would also suggest that you try new things in other areas of your life. Try a new food. Put on some flamboyant clothing. Check out a new store. Change up your music. Every time you try something new and find it pleasurable or a success, your brain is learning that trying new, potentially scary things, can be rewarding. You will be training yourself to be bold. Last, I suggest that, if you don't already have it, you develop a good sense of humor about yourself. One time I tried to practice my Korean on a lady selling flowers in an open market in Marina, California, a place known for a huge Korean population. Turns out that not only was she Chinese, but she was deaf. Talk about a spectacular failure. But I managed to just laugh at the situation, and we became good friends afterwards. Trust me, no one cares about your social faux pas as much as you do. You are probably the only one who actually cares about it. So a large part of shyness is a sense of pride. Shy people don't like to be caught looking foolish. So instead of trying, they just sit there saying and doing nothing. In that sense, shyness is a trap. It keeps you from trying new things, or from debating, making mistakes, or creating with others, all very necessary to personal growth. So balance a healthy dislike of the trap of shyness with a sense of humor about yourself. One last piece of advice. Colleges are filled with immature, hyperzealous kids and self-important blowhard teachers. College might actually be more of a challenge than anywhere else. I would practice in a somewhat less challenging venue like a church or a club or group that has a lot of like-minded folk who tend to be more socially gracious. Just a thought. Answer by Nicholas Grind. When I was in college, I never raised my hand. Never. I didn't raise my hand when I thought I knew the answer. I didn't raise my hand even when I knew the answer with 100% absolute certainty. And I didn't raise my hand when the professor was practically pleading for someone, anyone, to please participate. Full source, From Lonely to Social Life in 27 Days. Yet, I was a good student. I paid attention, took copious notes, studied hard, and earned good grades. But I was also quite shy and therefore perfectly happy to never open my mouth in class. In fact, for the first few semesters in college, I didn't volunteer a single answer and prayed my professors wouldn't call on me. Then one day as I was leaving class, Professor Roberts came over and asked if I had a few minutes to chat. My mind raced. What could this be about? Did I mess up on the last exam? No, that couldn't be it. I felt pretty good about that one, and I was totally prepared for the essay question on Gorbchev's economic policies. Yeah, I aced that test, so what could he possibly want? I wanted to say, well, I think I can get an A whether I participate or not. But I didn't. I liked Professor Roberts. From the very first day of class you could tell he liked being a teacher, and although his jokes were a little corny and he assigned a ton of reading, he was generally considered one of the good guys by pretty much anyone who took his class and was willing to put forth the effort he expected of his students. So I nodded hesitantly, and he explained his plan. For the next few weeks, during his lecture he would weave in a question straight from the reading and look directly at me. If I knew the answer, I'd raise my hand for him to call on me. At first his questions were simple recall questions and required only a short answer. But as the semester progressed, The questions got more difficult and, much to my surprise, I found myself raising my hand even when Professor Roberts wasn't looking my way. So when a new term starts, and you wonder whether it's worth approaching those students who are hesitant to participate or who try to make themselves invisible in your class, I assure you it is. They will never become your most loquacious students, but almost all will appreciate that you're taking an interest in their learning, and hopefully some will even try to meet you halfway. One thing I do to help students like Mary, who like to reflect on and process a question, is to give students a list of potential discussion questions for the next class meeting. That way, they have time to think about their answers. Another technique that students have responded well to is placing desks in a circle, if the number of students allows, so that we're all facing each other. Then, I go through the list of questions and ask for volunteers who want to begin discussing each. If no one wants to discuss a question, then we skip it. But everyone has to contribute at least once, preferably on a voluntary basis. I know I never raised my hand in front of 100,300 students. I think technology can be a great way to eliminate the fear to participate in class. I was a recent student at Ann Arbor, and I remember my lecture halls full of students. I never had the courage to speak up. There are ways that instructors can identify misconception in class, or even have students ask questions electronically via student response systems or course management chat rooms. These tools have the potential to provide a back channel for students during and after lecture, where even the teaching assistants can answer the questions as they arise without disrupting the flow of lecture. I just took a webinar on using Twitter in the classroom, and am hoping I can use it to engage the students who are reluctant to talk in class. I'm going to begin by having students tweet their most significant learnings at the end of each class. I would love to hear suggestions on other ways to use technology for this purpose. It's okay, I'm shy too, and I know exactly how it feels when teachers call on you, and when I respond all of a sudden I'm unsure of my answer and I make no sense, but Eva learned to participate in order to get points for participation, so I kinda have to. But hang in there, you are not invisible. Have an amazing day. Smile. Answer by Enginique. Do you think college will help me to be less shy? The odds may not be in your favor on that one. Your question almost has a silver lining of hope of a positive expectation. But there is better news. The change you desire lies not in any outside circumstances or geographical location, but it lies within you. You can access it at any time, and the key is a decision to make that switch from shyness into openness. Insecurity, which begets shyness, is a real fear. Every person walking on earth has it, some more, some less, but everyone is insecure on some kind of platform in life. Just know that you're not the only one, and the good news is that you can get over your shyness. It's easier than you think. Do the following. List all the things you're awesome at, those things that you didn't tell anyone about. Look in the mirror and say your name out loud, in a kind and gentle way. This probably won't happen the first time you try, but keep trying anyway. Say hi to one stranger every day. Soon you'll discover that there are opportunities to say how are you? Don't miss any of those opportunities. The change is up to you. Start small, a smile, a hi, walking with confidence. It all adds up. Don't miss those opportunities. Last week I was sipping tea outside a cafe. A young guy was walking down the sidewalk, earplugs in both ears, listening to something on his phone. Dressed in the latest fashion, looking happy. When he approached the tables where people were sitting, his face became expressionless, and although there was ample space to walk by, he suddenly started blading, walking in a straight line, with torso turned by 45 away from people. It is called like that because that move is usually used by people carrying weapons, and when they see policemen approaching they turn in an attempt to conceal the weapon. This guy did nor conceal a weapon. He tried to avoid eye contact with people sitting at the tables, to avoid saying anything, smiling, saying hi. By blading he wanted to be invisible to others. He missed a chance at breaking his shyness. Don't miss chances like that. One hi a day to a total stranger is going to suffice to breaking your shyness.